What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're going to laugh, we're going to cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. This is episode number 97, and my special guest is Shreyas Pandey. Shreyas is working as a network automation engineer in Hughes Network Systems in Maryland, leading development and engineering in launching satellites into space. He was born and raised across eastern part of Uttar Pradesh in India. He received his bachelor's degree in electronics and telecommunications from Mumbai, India, and a master's degree in telecommunications management from the University of Maryland, College Park, U.S. He is passionate and eager to learn all about aspects related to technology, business, nonprofit, as well as sports, especially cricket, tennis, and basketball. He has lived in one of the most conservative and backward regions of India and is really interested in contributing and uplifting people around those areas. Amidst all of these, stuttering is a big part of his life, and he wants to be an example to other people so that such obstacles can be overcome in life, and nothing is impossible if actions are taken to improve it. I am honored to have him as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Shreyas Pandey.
Thanks a lot, Pedro. Thanks a lot for inviting me and in your podcast. It's an honor. It's like what you're doing. It's really inspiring to not just me, but like the whole our community. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you, sir. This is a huge honor. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started.
Definitely.
So do you remember when you first began to stutter?
Actually, I don't remember the first time I stuttered. It was not from the start, like from my birth, definitely. Maybe around when I was like 5-6 years old. I don't recall the exact time, but somewhere around those time. So I was kind of very mischievous as a kid. I used to like run and play and all those kind of things. And my parents, obviously, parents being parents, so they, try to restrict me and control me so that I don't get hurt myself and all those kind of things. So maybe around those phases, not exactly when, but yeah, around those kind of situations and phase when started.
Does it run in your family? Are there any other family members who stutter?
So it started with me. So I was the first, I think, in my family who was stuttering. And then after that, I had my cousin who's like 10 years younger than me. And he has the, stuttering thing as well. And coincidentally, both of us are like elder of our family, like elder son. So, and I've did it somewhere like, some scientific reading or somewhere that it mostly, like most of the percentage starts with elder of the family and not the younger. And it makes logical reasoning as well because, parents have their first child and they are still, trying to see how to, take care of children, and there are some mistakes and there are some not, and all those kind of things. And after their first child, they are a little more careful and, good with their younger child. So so I have like a cousin of me, and out of that, I have few like one or two friends as well, but nothing more than that. Yeah.
See, so I was the baby of our family, so I was the third one, and then I have it. So my mom had a stutter, growing up, but at the age of, I believe, 14, she had enough of it, and said, I'm done. And she stopped. I don't know, girl power, who knows? But I mean, because we're all different in our journeys. And, for her, I mean, I guess her mindset, was just at that point, and she just said, "I'm done," and she was done. I'm like, holy mac and cheese. And so, I'm not there. I am still trucking along, but we're all different. So yeah.
Definitely.
Have you ever had speech therapy in school? And if you did, was it helpful?
So I'm from India, and like I am from a backward state of India from Uttar Pradesh, not very well-to-do state. And in our state, we don't like, at least at that time when I was growing up, we used to have doctors, obviously, but not specialized in speech therapist. So I have been to few doctors, but not like being like therapist and like 5-6 months or a year and like dedicatedly trying to work on my speech. Wasn't there. Been to doctors. I have like 1-2 sessions, and the problem is you cannot understand the situation of us till you are one of us. So that is what we're thinking is like, how can a doctor understand what we are going through? Like how, like we are not intentionally stuttering. Like we would be fluent if we were given a chance or choice, but it is not like that. So they say that, okay, talk slowly, take your time, and or maybe sometimes they will say that, okay, sing, like don't just speak like normally, sing. So how like those were the kind of suggestions, and I tried following it, but obviously if I am talking to a person and if I am singing to them, obviously they will laugh at me. So that is not a solution. So I find out that there's no, and I have searched on internet as well, that there's no solution for it. It will take its own time, and you have to just know that it will be with you. Accept it. Like acceptance is the biggest truth that you have to go through. And so actually my like mom and dad have tried many times, told me to go to a therapist and etc. after that. But I told them that's like, it is not helping me. Like it is making me think too much about it, and it is in turn leading me to stutter more. So it was not very helpful. And also during my engineering days, at that time, I kind of has this like embarrassment of like at that time, like going to a therapist, because my thinking is, I don't feel like I have a disease that I should go to a doctor. It's just a normal thing. Sometimes I'm not able to talk properly, but it is not like I should go to a doctor to get it, fixed. Or also, in those days, it was more like, okay, he has some mental issues or mental problem and all those kind of things. But I was doing very well in my academics. So a lot of things. And so it has like in my mind that, okay, I don't think I have some mental issues, so I'm not going to a therapist. So yeah, I didn't get much chance to go to a therapist. So I am living right now in US, and maybe one day I might go to a therapist and see, how much difference it can make and how different actual therapists are than the regular doctors.
See, and you bring up some great points because, I'm a lot older than you are, Shreyas, like a lot. And so, when I was growing up and in, grade school, all of my speech therapists, they did not have a stutter. And so you bring up a great point. They did not understand what I was going through because their goal was to make me fluent. That was their goal, to make me like everybody else. And then I felt, I'm broken? Am I damaged? I mean, are they going to return me with a receipt? I mean, it's like, it makes you feel just horrible. And I mean, you bring up some other great points, in that whenever they told me to slow down, that just made it worse. And when they would tell me to sing it, Shreyas, let me tell you, I don't sing very well. And I said, no, I'm just not going to do that. But that was in the early 1970s, the early 80s, late 80s. And so, I mean, it was a different time then. But for you right now, I cannot tell you how better it is for you now, because there are now plenty of SLPs, speech language pathologists, who do have a stutter, and they can empathize. They know exactly what you are going through. And I wish I had that when I was growing up, because they never had, addressed the mental health aspect of it. Basically it's, just, we are going to make you talk like everybody else. So, I mean, all of your points just resonated with me. But today, in speech therapy, I mean, a lot has changed.
Definitely. Also, so one more thing that my parents tried was like acupressure thing. So acupressure is like pressuring up certain points on the hand. And so the thinking here is like the nerves from your hand is connected to brain as well as different parts of the body. So there are some like actual like corners of the thumb or somewhere else that if you press for a long time, yeah, right, you know it, yeah.
Oh, right, yes, so... I do, sir. I know all that. I'm a lot older than you are, sir.
Definitely. So we have tried that as well. My mom, obviously, she wanted me to be like fluently, like a normal, but obviously, like God has other plans and things. So we have tried many things. My parents have been very supportive of it as well. Even though, like at that time, if you're not able to speak properly, the school and everything, there will be problems. Yeah. But yeah, we have tried many things, but still, none of them has actually helped me. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have any, advice for parents with regards to children who stutter?
So, parents definitely is. So, first thing, do not think that your child is not good enough. Maybe there is something going on in the brain or something, some small thing which is causing this, but it is not he is more than that, Stuttering does not define us. It's part of us, a small part of us. Definitely, it's a part of us. I won't say that it's not. It's a part of us, but we are more than that. Never think small of your kid. He is really good. Like I can talk about myself. Like I've stuttered my whole life. Like I cannot think of a day where I have not stuttered, and I have completed my master's in telecommunication management. I'm working in a good telecommunication industry. I'm working and doing well, and coming from India to US, and that to English is my second language. It is not even my first language. So do not think that your child is not good enough. He is definitely good enough. He has, God has given him this beautiful gift, which he will know more about it in later stages of life. So be patient with him, encourage him, make it a favorable or good environment in the house. Talk to teacher as well to be like a light environment, not too much stressful where you have to speak in like particular seconds or something. Like don't put pressure upon him. Be patient, laugh, he will take his own time, and over the time he may or may not be good, but at least he will feel good to be around you, and he will be he can open himself to you guys, and those kind of things. So, like great environment is very important. Also, like one more thing that I would want to add is never ever complete the sentence. No. Let him speak.
Ooh, Shreyas, you have touched a nerve.
Never ever do that. Like let him complete it. Let him take his own time. Life is very long. It's a marathon. It's not short. You're not going to help anyone, not your child, if you're completing a sentence. He will initially will feel good that okay, his mom is there to support him, or like but over the time he has to face the world, right? He has to live alone, he has to be alone, and like mom and dad cannot be with us all the time, right? So let him face the world as it is. He has his own tools and he will manage it.
Yes, see, and that is great, great, great advice. If I could add just one thing, I mean, all your points were spot on. Excellent, excellent advice. I would add to it just maintain eye contact because, growing up, when I would have a block, it was horrible. I mean, it was traumatic, and then to see the other person look away or look down, I mean, it just made it like 100 times worse. And so, I mean, if I could add just one more thing, it's to just maintain eye contact. And growing up, when they would finish my sentences, that would just enrage me because I felt even more more damaged, more, less than. And I mean, I know what I want to say. It's just not coming out the way I want it to come out. And like half of the time they would get it wrong. Shreyas, they would get it wrong. And that would make it like, come on,
like that is not what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what I was trying to say. It's like, no. Hashtag no, please no.
Don't do that, yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely it feels like we are smaller in front of our parents too. Like, okay, and like it is kind of embarrassing, and like it feels like beating ourselves up, and like, okay, we have to speak fluent. That is our prime goal. Like we are letting our family down, or friends down, and like they are not seeing eye to eye, and that's the most important form of giving respect to someone. Like if you're talking to someone, you have to look eye to eye. You cannot be on your phone or look somewhere else. Like that is just a big no. So like don't do all those things. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, we never stop learning. And so, what I am doing more now is learning to just hold that eye contact. I mean, because you know what? I never did that growing up because of the guilt, shame, all that. And so one of my previous guests had made an excellent point to just maintain that eye contact. And because that it demonstrates respect, integrity. It demonstrates empathy and then also compassion. So yeah. Oof. All right. So job-wise, Shreyas, job-wise, did you ever feel discriminated against because of your stutter? I know we can't, quantify it or prove it, but I mean, did you feel that, job-wise, did you think that you were being discriminated against because of your stutter?
Yeah, like as you said, like it is difficult to tell whether, if you are in job and working in an office, it is difficult to tell if the other person is discriminating me. I would say like most of the time it is me who, because of fear and embarrassment and all in my head, that I am not going to like I would avoid to give presentation or something like that, where I have to talk to more than two, three people who I am not very comfortable with. So it was mostly me. I would say it always starts with me, because I don't have the confidence to go to my manager or peers and tell them, okay, I am going to do this, I am going to speak. Obviously, there will be other people who would want to get their chance, so they will come to the manager and get their chance and opportunity. So it is always me who is like, okay, this. There might be some situations in jobs which, like, not big, like I cannot think of. Definitely in interview. So in interviews it gets tricky, because if you are not able to express yourself, and like like my interviews, like too much technical, like software engineering and all those kind of things, and it takes like 5-6 hours of interview sometimes at a stretch. So there you have to express yourself. You have to let them know what you know, and that too in today's setting where we have this pandemic and we have to be at home. Like, we cannot do a whiteboard thing to explain them that, okay, we know these things, we might have some hindrance in speech, but apart from that we have the knowledge. So, and in this setting of like laptop and on the headphone and not going, like, not in person, definitely, there are some issues, but the thing is, we are human, and we get adjusted to situations, and we try to learn from it. So that is our biggest tool to, we have this situation, we know this. Now, how can we do something better from these situations? Like, always trying to grow, learn, and, those kind of things. Make the best use of situations, what we have got. Yeah.
Okay, when you were talking about 5-hour job interviews, are you serious? 5-hour job interviews? I would be passed out. I'd be like in the corner behind here, passed out, because, I mean, okay, job interviews anyway, they're stressful. But for people who stutter, it's like a million times more stressful. And so, I mean, I can't tell you how many jobs that self-sabotage. I mean, I would do the job application, and they would pick me to job interview. They would email me to schedule the job interview, and to just read that on the screen, Shreyas, it sent me into panic mode. And so I had to email them back and tell them that I had already accepted another position. And that was a lie, right? That was a big lie. And so, I mean, I can't tell you how many jobs that were just perfect. But, I mean, just knowing that I'm going to have to say my name, I am going to have to answer their questions. I mean, it just threw me into panic mode. And, I mean, I shut everything down, Shreyas. And the jobs that I would go for was data entry. Okay, because there's no human interaction. They give you work at a computer, and you're there 8 hours typing everything. I mean, I thought, there just has to be more, until later on in life when I had accepted it and said, Pedro's awesome. I don't care if you laugh at me. I just don't care. I'm getting this job. And so, I would disclose. Just tell them, just right off the bat, my name is Pedro Pena. I have a stutter. And so you might see my eyes close. You might see my hands go all over the place. I may repeat words. I may block, but, it's just what I have. And when I did that, let me tell you, Shreyas, everything just went away. No more anxiety, no more fear. I mean, and that's when you give them your KSAs, your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, and just rock it out. But I mean, job interviews pre-pandemic, they were rough. Now that we're in this with Zoom and the Skype and the Teams and the webcam, and when that green light comes on, it's like, okay, breathe, breathe. And so, being in this pandemic, it has pushed us completely out of our comfort zones. And I mean, for a lot of us, I mean, it's called survival. We have to adapt. We have to grow. We have to learn this new medium, because I was just getting comfortable talking to people. And then when this pandemic hit, they just yank you out and say, you'll be working from home now with the webcam. It's like, it's rough. It's rough.
It is definitely it is. Actually, I had few situations myself as well where there were some very great opportunities for job and graduate assistantship from my university. There are some times like I am still figuring out when I like stutter most or like that, and sometimes I am not able to like utter a single word. Like it just stops. Like, okay, if I have to say my name is Shreyas Pandey, my name is okay, I will struggle here at the background, and the people will think, why is he stopping? Why is he not talking? Okay, so those kind of things do hamper interviews because other people would definitely want the candidate to speak well and all those kind of things. And even though some of the interviews which which went well, I was just afraid that okay, if I get selected, I have to speak all the time in this job description. So that job description was like, okay, conducting exams or like that, okay, managing something. So there you have to talk to many people, right? So even though I have cleared the interview, but the thing is, thinking about the job which I haven't been through, which is not even my first day, just thinking about that made me cancel that job. Like that was one of the like major important job, and I just canceled because fear in my mind that I cannot be like I won't be able to manage and speak over there. So yeah, there have been many situations and scenarios related to jobs and interviews like that.
Yeah, it's rough, but what I've learned, you just have to keep on going. Keep on going. Never stop. Just, I mean, if you fail, guess what? You will learn from it, and then apply what you have learned into the next situation. Because I tell everybody I am going to fail my way to success. And that's just what I am going to do. So let's talk about life before this pandemic, okay? So just get the pandemic out of your head. So how did you handle restaurants, drive-thrus, the telephone? How did you handle all those pre-pandemic?
So telephone is like scariest devices ever invented.
You are correct, sir.
Like I still don't know. Like I can like sometimes for a very prolonged period of time I can talk to a person in front of me without stuttering. But if I am with the same person on call, out of nowhere I would start like stuttering, and like words which are very easy for me to speak won't come out of my mouth. Like I still wonder like why is this happening? It's not like I am in the tricky situations or a fearful situation. No, the situation is really good. It's an awesome environment. I'm talking to a friend or colleague or someone, and we are talking lightly, and I just noticed that okay, I am stuttering now, like without a reason. And maybe it is because I cannot see them face to face and it is on telephone. Maybe like I still don't have the answer for why it is happening, but it does happen with me. Yeah. Also, so wait, yeah, if I'm going to a restaurant, it is a totally different kind of thing as well. So sometimes I show them the menu, like, okay, I want this thing. Okay. This definitely.
I did the same thing.
Like, some words. So since I'm coming from India, and for me, some of the food items which are in the menu here in US, like some Mexican items or some Italian items, it is difficult for me to speak them sometimes. And with my Indian accent, sometimes it gets hard for the waiters to understand what I'm trying to say. So I think the best way is to take up the menu, show them what you want, and that's this thing, this thing, right? So those kind of things. Also, one other story that I have is like I have myself worked in a restaurant. Uh, just imagine the
You did
nightmare
what,
that I.
Shreyas? You worked where?
Oh my God, that is like so. I have worked in golf course, so it was like a beautiful, like scenery, like golfing and all those things in summertime, and it looks so beautiful. But my struggle was like, okay, I have to attend people, talk to them, what orders they want, and all those kind of things. And that too, I came US like just 3 4 months at that time. So I had a very strong Indian accent at that time. Not like this is still better. So at that time, the people who were coming in the restaurant were just not able to understand what I'm trying to say, and like they were ordering something which I didn't understand their accent as well. Yeah, so for me, I could easily say that completing my master's in engineering is a lot more easier than be in a restaurant business and talking to people. So, like for me, it is easier to cook behind or do anything else in the restaurant than be a waiter or a bartender or like that, because accent and then speech. So if I'm going to say anything and there are pauses and people sometimes they don't understand, and that is fine, because they might not have met anyone like us from their whole life. So the kind of reactions they give and all those kind of things, it was kind of okay. Shreyas, bring your A game. This is not the stage. Yeah, okay. Learn, grow, read, take deep breaths, shout, but you have to do it. There is no other opportunity. You cannot go back to India from here, and there is no other job for you to do. So you have to go through that struggle, own it, take deep breaths, just like this, and yeah, like day by day, it gets improved, but still there were problem, and we don't get tipped well and all those kind of things. So yeah, but it's there are many stories, and yeah, so asking for menus and asking for food is one story, but being in that job itself, it is a whole different ball game.
I mean, I can completely relate because, I speak Spanish and Turkish, but I stutter equally in all three languages. My Spanish only works at Taco Bell, FYI, and my Turkish, I would purposely go to restaurants with that. They had pictures of the food on the menus. I would just go there because all I had to do, and those Mediterranean restaurants, so good. I just point, that. I mean, because, it's called survival. You have to eat, plus, I'm not really a good cook. I can boil water, but, I'm just not really a good cook. So, I mean, as in me, I had to learn a lot of different ways on how to get food, and so I just had a couple of tricks, that I picked up, in my years. So yeah, I mean, drive-throughs, I would have a tape recorder. Okay, I kid you not, I would have like multiple recordings, like pizza and chicken and hamburgers and I mean, it's called survival, Shreyas. It's called survival. We gotta eat. We gotta eat.
Totally agree with you. Like there is no other option. Like you have to eat, you have to work, and like you cannot escape it. Like you cannot be like, okay, I am just be inside my room, I'm not going to outside. No, you cannot be like that. Like we are a social animal, and we have to, and our society is built like that we have to go out and talk to people. So like you have to go through that phase, fight your own battles. Yeah, you have to do
It's
that.
a daily battle. It's an hourly battle. It's a minute by minute battle. It's a second by second battle. I'm exhausted, aren't you?
Oh, I
I'm
am,
already
and it's
sweating. Sweating.
and that battle is like every day. Like you cannot escape it. Like, okay, I want to take a break. Can I get like a week or two where I don't stammer and it's like a normal day? No, you cannot.
I mean, there are a lot of people who tell me, oh, you don't stutter, you're just acting, you're just lying. Fake news, fake news. I said, no, what you're hearing is 20 years of speech therapy, hypnosis therapy. I mean, I did some voodoo. It didn't work. I mean, I tried. I mean, just 20 years of just really hard work. And that is what you are hearing. I mean, people do not realize what we go through on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute by minute basis. They have no clue. Like the voicemails on your telephone.
Oh,
It takes
that is.
me 45 minutes, Shreyas, 45 minutes because, I am diaphragmatically breathing. And then at some point I'm hyperventilating. And so I got to stop. I mean, they just don't understand what we go through. And that is when I just educate them. There's no rhyme or reason. It's random. I'll have days where, everything comes out. And then there are days nothing comes out. I can't predict it like the weather. So,
That is like so true. Like it is like phases. Like there are some days where you are the champion, like master of this world. You feel like a king. And like, wow, I can speak. Like there is no stuttering, stammering. But then there are some days where you cannot able to speak like is, are, the, like a simple, words like that, and you blockage and they're stuttering and all those kind of things. And the people, yeah, you are definitely right that people don't understand. Like, and I can feel that why they cannot understand, because it is hard for them to imagine a person like a thing, as simple as things like speaking, which a child learns in like 2 3, like 1 2 years, and for us it's been like so many years, but we are still trying to get the best out of it. And I can understand why people are not understanding. But there's one more thing, like, okay, if you see a person who has got his hand broken, you will not laugh at them. You will sympathize or empathize with them. But with stuttering, the first reaction that you get from people is like some kind of faces and all those kind of things, and like uh, not indirectly, but still trying to be little and like embarrassing and all those kind of things. So that has to change. Like I would say, perspective of people have to change. That stuttering is not where you should laugh. Like, be empathetic. Okay, you don't know what struggle that we are going through. Like, okay, if I have to talk to a person, I have to have in my mind 3 4 layers of conversation which I'm going to talk. And so we have to prepare a lot, and it is so exhaustive and intense. Like, it sucks the energy out of you, and it is really tiring. So yeah, maybe in this internet media and all those things, people might get to know what actual reality is, and over the time they might know that, okay, what is good behavior and what is not.
did you ever experience isolation and or depression because of your stutter?
I won't say depression. Depression is a very big term, and like people often use it instead of some small sadness thing or like this. So, like, depression is a long term being sad and being in the same state of mind, in that state of mind, without a reason. For me, okay, I have a reason that, okay, I was talking to that person and I didn't speak fluently, and that is fine. But it was very lengthy, and that person kind of feel, awkward and all those kind of things. So I feel bad, obviously, and sad, but it is for some period of time, and then I watch some YouTube videos and get inspired and motivated, and then back to myself again. So obviously those things happen, but so just so you know that okay, this phase will come, it will go, will come again, it will go. It is not for like whole period of time. Uh, be patient, be kind with yourself, and tell you to yourself that it is okay what you're doing, and God has given you this gift, and it is totally fine. Don't think too much of what other person is thinking or saying. Have a being a thick skin is very important here. Like okay, like I don't like I do care what you're but I still like don't care how you are thinking based on my speaking. You don't know my story. You don't know what I have been through, what challenges and struggles I have been through. So being a thick skin in these kind of scenarios is very important. Yeah.
Now, you are over the age of 21, correct?
No. So yeah. So I am 27. Yeah.
Well, you look like you're 18, but just anyway.
Many people have told me this. Like,
yeah. We'll talk later. Okay. So let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed or had tried alcohol? Like wine or beer or whatnot, and noticed that your stutter got better or got worse? Had you ever noticed that, or do you drink? Is the bigger question.
That's the question. Yeah, that is. So your last question is the most important. Do I drink or not? So I'm coming from India, and India is like a conservative nation all together. And from the family which I come from, we don't drink. So even though I may have tried here or there small but I have never been drunk, and but there are some scenarios where I could imagine that okay, if I am under the influence of alcohol, I will have less control over myself, and it will cause me to stutter more. I feel like, because I won't be able to bring my A game. I won't be able to breathe properly, and deep breaths and all those kind of things, stopping at the right moment. Because if I am under the influence, then like okay, I will just speak, like I won't care if I'm stuttering or not, but I feel like I will stutter a lot more than being not under the influence of it.
Many people that I talk to who stutter, it's just split right down the middle, and from my own perspective, I didn't drink until I joined the military. That's when, I learned about alcohol. and what I found out is after 2 drinks, it can be anything. After 2 drinks, Pedro's good. There's no stutter. I'm just having a great time. And everything is fantastic. I'm not thinking about anything except just having fun. And, many other people have told me that they have the opposite effect. So, we're all different. So, but yeah, that's alcohol for me.
Definitely. Yeah. I wish I could have tried it and see what like actual influences if I'm getting. If like I can definitely say that if my stuttering is less when I'm drinking, I would be drinking a lot.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you, Shreyas, I've had a lot of people tell me I should drink 24 hours a day because it would solve everything. I said, no, that is not a viable option. But thank you. Thank you for the suggestion.
Like if I'm going to a 5-hour interview, I would definitely drink.
See, we're all different.
I won't study, like I won't be preparing for my interview, but I will definitely have a drink.
Have a good time, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about secondaries. Now, over my long span of being on this earth and learning tips and tricks, people call them crutches, and, I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. And, AKA, they call them secondaries. And granted, we're all different, okay? We are all different. But for Pedro, if I was ever having, a block, I would tap my head, or, I would, tap my foot. I would, close my eyes, have my arms go all over the place to help me get out the block. Had you ever experienced, or do you do secondary behaviors to help you with your blocks?
Definitely. So it is like, since I know it is part of my life, it is like everyday part of my life, and I cannot escape it. So my mind, what it does is it tries ways to, solve this problem. Okay. It thinks that it is a problem and try to solve it and come with different ways. So one thing that I have, I do is I have learned this somewhere. I'm not sure. So when you're breathing and when you're breathing out, try to speak at that time exactly. Okay. So it's like I breathed in. Now I'm going to breathe out. So when I am starting to breathe out, hi Pedro. So it is like, hi Shreyas, at exactly that time. So with the breath of air, with the force of air, it makes a bit easy to speak. Like it is like a car is there, and you put your word into that car, and you are then pushing that car, and your words will come out. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But the other problem is, when I do that, I speak very fast. And if I'm speaking very fast, the other guy will not understand. So, and one thing that I have also noticed is, if I am talking to a person, like approaching them for like asking for help or like making a small talk, if I am initiating the conversation, I would stutter, like definitely, like that is 100% all the time. But if I am saying the same word again, like say if I'm saying, hi Pedro, my name is Shreyas, I will stutter saying this for the first time. But if I speak it to myself, hi Pedro, my name is Shreyas, and then I speak loudly to him the second time, I won't stutter. I don't understand why it happens. Like if I am like revising the same sentence and then saying that to that person again, and those kind of things. And also like during my childhood, so I've seen that my stuttering have improved in my 20s a bit. It was a lot more words during my teens at that time, and at that time, like I used to hold like my finger tightly or clench it, or like hit my nails and all those kind of things, and try to look somewhere else. And so I used to do that kind of things as well. The third thing that I was doing during my late teens and during that time was imagining that a sentence is written in front of me. So one thing that I have got is, I won't stutter at all if I am reading something. Like that is like, okay, I am like normal. I can read all day, all long. Like that is not a problem for me. And like that gives me like a bliss. Like, okay, at least when I'm reading, I don't have I don't have to worry and think about all those things. So I like reading a lot. I read loudly, like take out all of my words which is hidden deep inside my heart, which I'm not able to talk when I'm talking normally to other people. So when I'm reading, I am reading very loudly, like literally shouting my heart out, so those kind of things. So using that point, when I'm talking to a person, I will talk to them, but I am imagining that in front of me, I have sentences written like in my local language, Hindi, or in English as well, if I'm talking in English, and imagining that I am reading that, not like everything, not everything, but still an initial phase where I could get a momentum, and after that it doesn't matter if I am stuttering or not. But initial phase, or when you're doing a small talk, initial time is very important. And so I used to do all those kind of things before, imagining sentences is written, and hand clenching, and looking somewhere else, and all those kind of things.
You bring up some great points when you were talking about speaking on the exhale. I learned that in later in speech therapy, they called it the cafe system. And so basically, they would hook me up to a computer. There would be a belly belt. And so they would tell me to inhale through my diaphragm, and then on the screen there would be a dot, and then it would draw a line going up, and once it went over going down, that's when they told me to speak. And so when I would do that, like, hello, my name is Pedro, and I'm speaking on the exhale. I mean, everything just kind of comes out. But then, I sound like a robot. It's like, and so I, had to practice and practice and practice. And so, I still do that. One of my, tools in my toolbox. Then, another great point that you had made was talking out loud. I do that every day. I read one page out of a book out loud. I mean, I do it for me. Plus, I also do mindful meditation to just handle everything, stress, just to handle. I mean, people tell me, do I do it just for my speech? I said, I do it for everything because, life is stressful. I mean, You know what? I mean, you get a lot of balls thrown at you, and
totally.
So what helps me is every day for 15 minutes I do mindful meditation. There's an app that I use. I do my breathing, and then afterwards I read out loud one page. And for me, because I can only talk for me, because we are all different. But for me, it helps me out. So I mean, what I tell people is do what you feel that you want to do. There is no cookie cutter therapy or tip or I mean it's a whole bunch of things that I do to just help me throughout the day.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so here is a hot topic. Okay, Shreyas, I have a couple of hot topics, but here is a hot topic. This is a head scratcher, all right? So are you ready? It's a head scratcher, all right.
I hope I am ready.
I think you're going to be great. All right, so here's the question. When you are alone, can you speak without stuttering?
Oh my God. Yeah, like I don't know how it happens, but when I am alone, I'm the king. Like I don't stutter at all. Like if I'm stuttering, it would be like very few, like minute, and like I don't stutter at all when I am alone, and like my thoughts flow a lot better, and it feels like I'm freedom. It gives me that space, that space of, okay, you can make mistake. No one is seeing you. You don't have to speak to someone. You are alone. It's like that attitude of no care at all. Do whatever you want. Speak whatever you want. Speak rubbish. That is also fine. No one is judging you. And I think so that lately that is what I'm trying to do. Like reading a lot, like speaking out loudly, like till I get like short of breath or like a dry mouth. And when I'm alone, like talk to myself, even though it is totally nonsense, and like in my local language or in English as well, no matter at all. But yes, so I make use of those situations like reading and talking to myself alone, because I know that if I keep on practicing and doing all these things, which I know that I don't stutter at these times, it will help me prepare better if I'm talking to such someone else. Yeah.
See, and you know what? I am your opposite. Shreyas, I am your opposite. When I'm alone, I still stutter. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm going through the, my day, my calendar, and, I'm talking out loud, as we all do, and then we are answering ourselves as we all do. I mean, I still, I block, I repeat. And I mean, you know what? I mean, it's just interesting. We're all different. And, half they don't stutter when they're alone, and then the other half they do. So it's just split right down the middle.
Definitely, definitely. As like still, it makes me curious that like why it is like some one is showing a pattern like this and someone is not showing the same pattern. Like okay, and there has not been much scientific research on it as well yet. So like it is very interesting to know that each person varies with their own experiences. Also, I feel like it is it's different because we all have our own reasons why we started stuttering. So for me at that time, it was like okay, when I was like child, peer pressure, family trying to correct me and like. Make me 100% normal or fluent according to them and like expectations. So India is a population of billion people. So there the competition is very tough. You have to be at your best in academics and everything else to be somewhere. Like not every, no one gets an easy path. It is all difficult path and you have to struggle. And so all those things have shaped my life. And initially, like fear is my like the most important factor which makes me stutter more. I think I could definitely say that fear, pressure are not favorable environment. So all these three things won't be there if I am talking alone. So if I'm alone, I will be like at my best. So I tell this to my friends and family, and then they tell me, Shreyas, imagine even if you're talking to someone, you are alone. Like try to imagine that. Like the thing is, how can I imagine that? Like there, like I know what you're trying to say. I know you are trying to help here. But if I think that there is no person, even if there is a person, I might say rubbish. I might say whatever I feel like, and that is not the case. I am actually not alone. So even though I can imagine, I cannot implement it, right? So they try to logically give an answer and all those kind of things, but it it doesn't help at all.
Right. I mean, because gosh, when I mean, so we are doing multiple processes in our heads as we are talking. Like,
Oh yeah.
The old Pedro, when I would talk to a person, I knew all of the words that were coming as I was speaking. And if I knew that I could not say a couple of words, in my mind, I would switch them. And still, I'm still talking to the person, but in my head, I'm playing word, changing out words. And after like half an hour of doing that or 1 hour, I mean, you're just drained. You have nothing left in you. And so that leads me to my next question. Do you feel that you stutter more when you're stressed or tired, both, or neither?
Right. So I stress a lot when I am tired and stressed out. A lot, like 100 times more. Like I won't be able to speak out words. Like I will just stop. Like even though I take deep breaths and all those kind of things, I take deep breaths at that time, at that exact moment as well. But the words doesn't come out. Like you have to pace yourself. You have to then see, okay, then you have to do a self-talk saying that, okay, this is not a very stressful situation, even though it is, but you have to talk to your mind that it is not. Take a chill pill, take your time. Uh, and I don't understand like how it works because, during tiredness, I feel like I am not able to control my senses, my jaws, and my mouth is very tired, and so there is a cyclic reaction. Okay, so first it starts with fear. There's a kind of fear, very small thing, or there might be not. Fear will lead to small stuttering. It will lead me to, okay, think before I am speaking, talk to myself, and see that words are coming out of your mouth like hello, hello, and all those kind of things. So, and then after that, there will be dry mouth. I will be very tired and stressful, and it will lead to more stuttering. So it is like a cycle. Like if I am starting to stutter, I am pretty sure over the period of time I would stutter more. So, for example, say if I'm talking to a friend on a phone and the call is for 1 hour, okay, I will not stutter or stutter less in initial 15 minutes. But as the time progresses, and if I have spoken a lot, I get tired. My mouth gets dried a lot. Like I'm not sure why. Like I have to drink water regularly. My mouth get dried and words doesn't come out of my mouth like till half an hour and 45 minute I am done. Like I will be listening. I will be just listening like, okay, you have to talk. I am just sitting back now. I am done for the day. Like it is so exhaustive to even talk, like it feels like speaking is one of the most easiest thing to do, but for us, it is one of the most tired and exhaustive. Like if I am giving an interview and it is of 1 hour, after that I will be sleeping. I will be on my bed. I will be watching videos. I like leave me alone. Thank you. It was really nice talking to you, but I like it feels like if I'm talking, I'm burning calories. Like I don't have to go to gym. I like it feels like I won't be getting any fat because I'm burning calories while I'm talking, and it's too much exhaustive. Like my ear gets all red, you know. My brain will be like super hot after all the processing, that it has done for last hour.
Exactly.
And yeah, and my whole body will hurt, like my back pain will be there, posture will not be right, and all those kind of things. But I think like throwing myself into these situations and facing all these difficulties will make me stronger. So even though it hurts, it is tired and it is stressful and all those kind of things, but force yourself to go through those battles, because after you have passed those battles, you have shining armory and tool, and you will be a lot more better at the other end of the tunnel. So that is my thinking. And one more thing is like, okay, God has given me this stuttering gift, and whatever He has given me, He has also given a resolution of that. So He won't send His child without any help. There will be help as well. So be sure that, okay, you have this stuttering thing, but you have solution for this, and people are there to help. Talk to them, be more expressive. One thing which I was not doing initially during my earlier days was not expressing myself or hiding. But nowadays it is a bit more open, and I try to like carry my stuttering, be proud about it. This is who I am. This is who I am. Yeah, like this is what I do, and that's part of me. Like not being ashamed of me, because it's very small thing, and that's totally fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Ooh, good points. Okay, now, has this ever happened to you? Let's say you have a doctor's appointment, and so you hop into the building, you walk into the office, and there's a front admin person where you go and check in, okay? And they ask you for your name, and you have a block. I'm not talking just a regular block, Shreyas. I'm talking a block where, it's like, okay, you can hear the watch tick, 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 tick. And have they ever asked you, did you forget your name? Has that ever happened to you? Tell Pedro. Tell Pedro.
Oh, your questions are so awesome. Like you are just touching up the right spots, I would say. I would say that since I was stuttering more during my childhood, so I face these kind of situations at that time. I don't recall them now, but I could definitely say that, okay, if I'm going to a front door, like say for example, like 2 days back, I was in a DMV center for my motor vehicle thing, and I have to give my key, like door key to my friend because he was leaving. Okay, so but there was a guard standing. So my perception is okay, guard, police, oh, fear, those kind of things. And I told him, hi, I just have to give my, and I stopped. I was not able to say key, like KEY, key is such a small thing. And I was not able to say that. And he asked me, what do you want? And then now, since this is the second time, I could say things normally. So for first time, if I'm saying it just doesn't come sometimes, but if I'm saying the same thing second time, it comes normally. And I would say that, okay, I have to give this key to my friend. And sometimes I will stop at friend and all those kind of things. Also, since you asked like the name part, so during my interview or some situations where there is like not very friendly environment, I will go, hi, Shreyas Pandey. So I will be stopping, and at the back of it, I will be struggling like okay, come out now, come out now. Like for me, sometimes it is not like Shreyas. It is like I will just stop. It won't come out. Like someone is pulling me from inside. Like, okay, I am trying to say something, but they are like taking control of my body and not letting me speak. Sometimes those kind of things do happen a lot. And the major reactions that I've got is like this face, awkward face, like, what is he talking about? Why is he not able to say his name? What is the problem with this guy? Like, no one has told me that, okay, have you forgotten his name? No one has told me that, but most of the time it is like funny face or awkward face. Like, what is the problem with with this guy? Why is he not speaking his name? Like, or say if I'm saying my name, like, okay, my name is Shreyas Pandey. So they won't understand what I'm trying to say. So they will ask again. But if I have to say the same thing again, I will say perfectly fine that my name is Shreyas Pandey. Like, I don't know how it works, but it works.
That's interesting because, I have 2 P's in my name. And so, there were days when my P's sounded like kisses, like Pedro Pena. And they go, are you kissing me? No. I'm trying to say my name. I'm not,
like, bless me, Lord.
I'm not trying to kiss you. I swear I'm just here for a job. So,
definitely.
Yeah, it's just...
Those kind of things do have happened with me. Like, if I'm trying to say, like, so, like some kind of mouth, like, some kind of motions that do happen. And yeah, like it kind of take deep breath again, think where you are. That other person is not going to kill you. Okay, he is friend of you. It is a good environment.
He will not harm you, Shreyas. He's not going to harm you.
Yeah, definitely. No. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so let me ask you this. So, do you think that stuttering is a disability?
Not at all. A big no. No, it is not a disability. We all are totally fine, totally able. How can I call myself disabled? Like it will be like I cannot just understand like how can someone call themselves disabled? Like I feel like we will not able to work or function properly in this world if we are belittling ourselves. Like world is there for us to make us embarrassed. We don't have to embarrass ourselves. Like be stronger. This is not a disability. Disability is like living in a poor nation and like growing there and not getting facilities that we are getting over here, like proper internet, food, light, electricity in US or in India as well. There are some countries where we don't get food. People don't get water to drink, so that is kind of hampering them. People don't have one hand or leg, and all those kind of things. That is disability. This is a small thing, and like try to overcome, grow through it, learn from it, and it has not hampered me in a way, like not in jobs. I'm doing well with my life, so like I feel sad, does fine sometimes, but I never considered this as disability, because if I consider it as disability, I won't be able to live like this is. And like God, like we are humans, and God, and we have so much less chance to be a human. We could have been animals or somewhere else. Like we have gotten such a great life. How can you like make the small things to be a big part of your life and not live a life that you should live? Like be the best and live your life how you should live, like up to the mark. And like if you feel that you are disabled, then obviously you won't be able to live your life that way, and you feel sorry about yourself, and you ask for sympathy from others, and it feels like you won't do justification um, uh, of this beautiful gift that God has given it to you. Like go through it, and at this point of time, it is very important to see people who are like you. Like okay, learn from them. Like learn from Pedro. Like he is doing podcast and like out of his fear and all those kind of things. At that point of time, it is very important to look outside and learn from people and get inspired from them. Not get inspired from people who are not there, or like someone ideal, idol, inspire from people who are just normal and just like you, and see what they are doing, and talk to them and share your thoughts, and all those kind of things.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir. Now here comes another hot topic. Okay, this one's hot. This is like super hot. All right. So, as you know, okay, now I know you're 27. All right, now I know you look 18, but I know you're 27.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about dating. Dating is tough for everybody. I mean, just take a number. It's difficult. But for us, it's like a trillion times more difficult. How do you handle dating with having a stutter? Tell Pedro.
Right. So again, I'm from India, and we have this conservative environment where we don't have that dating culture yet. It is still like pacing up. It is still not there. So at that time, when I was living back in India, even though I have friends, it was not like dating, and it is easier to talk to a friend than to literally go on a date, and that okay, this is the first time you are talking to a person, and then there's fear and pressure and all those kind of things. But back here in US, like for me, it is like making friends. That's the first step at all. Like okay, if I am friends, I am comfortable, and if I am comfortable, then I can speak properly. So I've never been to a like dating like things, and like first it will start from dating like things. No, it is always from being a friend first, and let them know that this is who I am, and if they don't like it, then there won't be anything in the next step. So be a friend first, and talk to them, and show them the person you are and the real you. And yeah, so that is my thinking. And like maybe because I'm from India, and so we don't have that a proper dating culture yet. But the thing is, I could imagine, like if I was born here in US, and if I were in my teens, and if I have to ask someone for a date, like my heart will start beating.
It'll explode.
Oh, my heart will start beating so far. Like, hi, do you want to come for a Stop. Like I won't be able to say, like, I can imagine like my ears going to get red, my brain will go halt, and like I will be like dry mouth and all those kind of things.
Game over,
But
Shreyas.
game over, yeah, game over.
Drop the
You have to
mic.
bring your A.
You're
Yeah, you
done.
have to definitely bring your A game. So that would have been a real struggle, and that to imagine if I am taking someone to a restaurant and I have to order a food and I am in front of a person who I'm talking to for the first time, and if I stutter very long at that time, like it might they might think that I have some problem mentally or something, that obviously create a bad impressions. So that would have been like major hurdle. Like I would say slight a bit lucky that I had my teens and early 20s in India, and we don't have that culture altogether.
Yeah, you see, and that is interesting because in my culture, the Spanish, Portuguese, I mean, my dad, he was strict. I mean, we couldn't have a driver's license until we were 18. We couldn't date until we were 18. I mean, because in with him, school was number one. Get everything out. Get girls out of your head. Get monster trucks out of your head. Everything out of your head. School
Same
is
here.
number
Yeah.
one. School is number one. And so, I kind of skipped all of that, but I went only on one date, and that was when I was 25 years old. Okay, now that's just picture that. My first date, I was 25 years old, and it was a blind date because my best friend,
Oh, my God.
she told me, you are not going to be alone. No, if I have anything to do with it, and so I always thank her because she had me set up on a blind date. So just picture this, Shreyas, a blind date.
Oh my God.
Don't know what the person looks like.
Oh.
All you're told is be at this restaurant, and when you open the door, the person will be at the front table. So let me tell you, Shreyas. Okay, first of all, my heart was going to explode just like multiple times. And so, I drove to the restaurant. It was Ninfa's. It was a Mexican restaurant in Corpus Christi, Texas. February 19th, 1995. I was 25 years old. The moment I opened that door, Shreyas, that was it. That was it. The eyes locked. The eyes locked. And so look at this hand.
Oh, that is so awesome.
26 years later, Shreyas. 26
so
years
awesome.
later, we're still going
So proud of you.
strong. Thank you, sir. So what I tell everybody, the heart wants what it wants. It doesn't care if you stutter, doesn't care if you're bald, doesn't care if you drive a Toyota Corolla from 1983. Just, it doesn't care. And so what I tell everybody, just do it. Nike has a great slogan.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. Because what I have learned in all of my 50 years of being on this earth, because I'm twice your age, Shreyas. So what I have learned is that my stutter shows me how people truly are. It shows me their character. And so if I have a block, if I'm repeating, and if the other person is looking at their watch or looking up or looking down, that tells Pedro they're not worthy of my time. And so those people, see ya. So I only have people around me who are supportive, nurturing. They aren't yes people. I mean, they have put me in my place, Shreyas, when I have done wrong.
Definitely.
But these people around me, they have respect. They have integrity. They have professionalism, and those are the people that I have around me. And so my stutter has taught me how people truly are. And for me, that has been a gift. So, yeah.
That's so true. That's true. And like, so proud of you, like that ring and
I'm
like
telling
first, that is
Don't ever lose that ring, Shreyas.
that,
You'll never hear the end of it. All right.
that's an awesome story.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
So I have a question that's a little powerful. Did you ever think, like, in talking about your career, did you ever think that your stutter might hinder your career path?
I would say that I've taken some decisions in my life related to career goals and everything that aligns with me speaking a bit less. I won't say that it has taken like a major role, but still, like some of the decisions that I have made, I have considered that, okay, stuttering in my mind as well. I won't say there has been hindrances. I've been quite lucky in those sense. There were, I just remembered one thing. So, when I was in fifth standard, when I was in, when I passed my eighth standard and I was going to a different school during my ninth and tenth standard, which we call here as high school, I think. At that time, I had to change school. Okay. So the school was the affiliated branch of the previous school where I was in. So the principal and everyone used to know each other. So I had a good impression. I was a good guy, academic wise and everything. But principal thought of interviewing me at that time. So he started asking me tough questions in front of my mom. And so he asked me, Shreyas, tell me, how many subjects did you had in your eighth standard? And I started counting, okay, physics, chemistry, math, and all those kind of things. Like I didn't have answer instantly, like, okay, 7 or 8. Like it was taking time. And he got like really angry and like, you cannot tell how many subjects you have learned. Like, are you stupid or like that? Not exactly the same statement, but that kind of face he was making, that how can you not name it? Like, so I told him that I know it, but it will take some time. I'm just, I may have forgotten some things, but he got really pissed. And that too in front of my mom. Like it is okay if someone is getting pissed in like a lone place, but if it is there, like if I'm getting embarrassed or someone is shouting at me or not talking to me properly in front of my mom and dad, that will become like lot more worse, because we always want to see our parents be happy at least about us. So then again he asked me to speak about an essay, say an essay. At that instant itself, tell me about what things do you like, give me a 10-minute speech. And I was like, at that time, how like my mind was somewhere else. It was fear and stuttering and all those things. I couldn't, obviously, like that was so obvious that I could not say things. And he told me that, yes, you cannot be in computer science branch, but since you are coming from one of the schools that is affiliated to us, I will still take you to, I will still admit to you on our school, but I will put you in the worst class possible, because I don't think you are there to, you are that good. And that was like, that is a real story. Wow. And it, like, I still imagine to this day, it felt pathetic, not just for myself, but for letting my parents down at that time, because I was like, how much, like 12, 13-year-old in early teens. And it was very embarrassing. The thing that I will not forget my whole life. And you won't believe what I did in that same class. In 1 year, I was the topper. But the problem was he left that school just 2-3 months back. Oh. So he didn't get the opportunity, or I didn't get the opportunity that he gave me that prize or honor,
Gotcha.
that, okay, you are the first, like that. So
Wow.
that would have been so much like, okay, you told me that I am like not good and worse and all those kind of things. But see, in 1 year, I have proven that I am best of this school, of this class at least.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
that was an opportunity missed,
Yeah.
actually. Like I still think like that I wish that principal was still there, and on his face I could tell him that, see, I'm not what you were thinking. It just, I have some stuttering and all those kind of things, and just some fearful environment. And yeah, so that was a small kind of thing, not very career perspective, but it's part of my academics. But if I have to talk about career, like, so for example, when I was back in India, I was thinking of doing either MS, Master of Science, or MBA. So in MBA, I had this perception that I have to talk a lot, give so many presentation every day, and all those kind of things. So I thought that, no, I don't think I will be good in those kind of situations. So one of the reasons was this, that okay, I wanted to pursue MS because I am more of a tech savvy. Along with it, I will be behind the computer all day, coding and typing and all those kind of things. I don't have to talk to many people. But now I feel like, even though I have made the right decision, but down the line, maybe 3-4 years from now, I may be okay doing MBA as well. Like, since I've been getting better, practices, my meditation and all those things that you've said, that I also try. And yeah, so not a major hindrances, but some things have definitely shaped my career.
Well, first of all, many congratulations on being a topper. That means number one, right? Okay.
Definitely,
Okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I had never heard that term before, but I had assumed that, you were the
yeah.
top of the class. And then congratulations on getting your master's. Welcome to the club. Okay. Welcome to
Thank
the
you,
club.
thank you.
We'll be mailing you your muffin basket. Welcome to the master's club. And I mean, just like you, I mean, people told me my entire life, I will never graduate high school. I will never get into the military. I will never go to college. I mean, I will never have a career. They were telling me, okay, now just picture this: from age 5 all the way to age 18, 19, 20. I was told I was slow. I was told I was stupid. I was told that I had a form of mental retardation. So if you hear that almost on a daily basis, it kind of knocks you down and you tend to believe it. But like you were a topper in school. I was a topper. I graduated. I joined the U.S. Air Force.
That is awesome,
I
sir.
blew things up. It was so much fun. So much fun. That's a whole other podcast. But I mean, and then I went to college. I obtained my AA degree in psychology. I earned a bachelor's in psychology. I earned a master's in industrial organizational psychology.
That is so awesome, Pedro. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm the topper here.
Yeah.
You're the topper there. I'm the topper over here. And I mean, so all those people who told me no, granted, they're old and they're probably gone. Sorry, God. But in my mind, I proved them all wrong. And those who were telling me that it is a dumb idea to have to be a podcaster. It's a dumb idea. Nobody wants to hear a person who can't talk on the radio. Nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to hear heavy breathing. Well, there are some people who want to hear the heavy breathing, but they're not my target audience. but I did it. I mean, Nike, just do it. I pushed that record button. It wasn't the prettiest. But I did it. I did it. So, I mean, my hat's off to you. You are just hashtag awesome. Just hashtag awesome. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So what do you think about all this new technology? You have Google Home, you have Alexa, then you have Siri. Do you think all this new technology is helpful or hurtful for people who stutter?
Uh, I would say it is one more thing that we have to learn and grow about. So, I will give an example here. So, I was driving with my friend, and so he asked me to put my home address. And he enabled Google Speech and not don't like he told me, Shreyas, don't do it manually because it is on the card itself. Just speak and it will put your address. So I started speaking the address. I stopped at one point because the stuttering, the pressure, and all those kind of things. And he was driving fast, and so I have to get the address as quickly as possible. And the problem with these devices are they have a very short span. So if I am saying something and if I stopped because of my stuttering, it will just start searching from there itself. And the problem is I am not able to stop it. Like, no, wait a second, I have to speak more. And this was going on for like 5-6 times, and I was like not able to say the full thing, and that too with my Indian accent. So if I am trying to say some road name, the Google will take it in different way, like so I don't have that accent, so it is very difficult for these devices to sometimes get my address as well or understand what I'm trying to say exactly. So what he did was he had to pull over on the side of the road, and then I manually fed the address. And that was like very, weird and awkward situation where I have to speak like 5-6 times my address. And I was like all red there again. And then, feed it manually. So sometimes there are situations where, these devices make our life difficult. Talking to Siri or setting up a reminder. So I make sure that I will talk to devices only when I am alone at home. If I am with someone, I am not going to talk to devices. Devices are not my friends when I am with other people, but they are my good friends when I am alone because I can, talk freely at that time. So there are challenges, definitely, but yes, there have been some situations where I just felt like I don't want to talk to a device. I just want to throw it away.
I am in the same boat because I mean, they don't give you time. Pedro needs time. I need to breathe. I need to relax. I need to breathe some more and relax. And by that time, you hear, please repeat.
That's so true.
I did not get that. Please repeat. I was like, it's like, no, I'll just punch everything in. I'll punch everything in. Right. But there is some good news. There is some really good news. There are a lot of universities right now, as we speak, they are creating AI technology for people who stutter in the realm of voice technology. And so that is pretty cool because they just don't give you enough time to get it out. So yeah, I'm like you, just punch it in. Just punch it in.
Yeah. So actually, they want us to be machine just like them, like speak at the same constant speed, but we are not. We are different.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
That's a no, sir. Yeah, that's a no, sir. Yes, sir.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Next. No.
Next.
All right. So what is a challenge speech-wise that you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
Challenge. Since like English is my second language, so I stutter a lot less when I'm talking in my local language in Hindi. But the stammering goes a bit notch up when I'm talking in English. So learn and communicate well in English, because I am in US and in India as well. During my school time, we have to compulsorily speak in English to our teachers, like that is compulsion. So at that time as well, okay, so learn English, repetitive practice, read a lot, talk to friends and peers and all those kind of things. So learning English, and learning not just grammatical English, but speaking English, where you could speak in a way that other person could understand your story, because explaining a story is very important. Because if you're saying something and people don't sync up with what you are saying, they won't be very interested in what you are saying. So you have to be a very good story presenter and speak up your story well, with emotions and everything, and with the proper stoppage and all those kind of things. So I'm not able to understand what other challenges, like if you could give me an idea.
Okay, mine was the telephone. The telephone. It was my arch nemesis. And so what I did was I bought a office telephone that looked like the ones that we had in my office at that time. And so I bought it off of eBay, and so when I got it, I put it on top of the bed and I pretended to have conversations. I pretended to make phone calls and I pretended to receive phone calls. I would have these elaborate conversations
That's a great idea.
to help me, because the phone, it caused me severe panic, stress, fear, everything. And so I practiced for every day for half a year. So picture this, Shreyas, in my bedroom with a telephone on my bed, not even connected, but I go bring, and then I pick it up, and so I practice and practice. So after half a year, it became boring.
Right.
Boring. No more fear, no more anxiety, no more trepidation, none of that. It became boring. And so when I had to do it in a real world application, aka my job, when the phone would ring, I picked it up. Good morning. This is Pedro. How may I help you? And granted, it took me half a year, but I am so proud that I did not. I did it every single day for half a year, practicing and practicing and practicing. And for me, that was a huge challenge that I had overcome.
Right. Yeah, actually, similar kind of things I have tried as well. So one was in my mobile phone, I have a voice recorder. So I try to understand, if I am speaking, how other people might be hearing, because when we are speaking, we are not hearing ourselves. We just talk. So I need to understand how I am speaking and how I can improve more. Not the stuttering, but the whole communication skill, like pauses, take your own time, so that, you have said your thing, but there might be a case that you have spoken it too fast or too infrequently that other people might not understand what you're saying. So voice recorder is my friend. It still does. I don't do it regularly. I should blame myself. There you get it. Yeah.
Yes, so, I have one too, and so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. So I record myself, not regularly. I should follow you and be more religious in doing this, because I am lazy, and up until if I have embarrassed myself somewhere, or if there is some sad situation, then I will get up and then do all these recordings and all those kind of things, like read aloud. But if I am in my comfort zone and not stuttering much. I don't practice them at all. And that's a mistake that I do, because I have to be more like, okay, discipline, do it regularly, like start with like once in a week or twice in a week and take it from there. So voice recording is one thing that I do sometimes. Second thing that I do is job interviews. Since job interviews is like, okay, I'm coming from India to US, and you cannot, like, you won't believe me, Pedro, but after completing my master's, I have to apply to nearly thousands of jobs to get a proper job which I want, because of my visa restrictions and all those kind of things. The situations is being faced by all the international students, not just me. So we have to, apply to 500 or 1,000 job applications. There are jobs, no doubt about it, but we are not citizens of US, so we have, many restrictions that we get, perk of being a international student. So many job interviews. So if I am applying to 1,000 jobs, I would get called for like 50, 60 of them. Okay. And that too, so I have to bring my A game, because I won't be getting many job calls. So I have prepared for job interviews so much, like speaking, alone, strengthening my thoughts of what I'm going to say, what questions he might ask technically. Like, think about all the possibilities on this earth for your role that he can ask. Just think about, note it down, be very religious. And sometimes I do overwork as well, because I have to, because, prepare myself, because, I cannot do many mistakes. I can do small of them, some of them as well, but not much. So I have to be very prepared. So like job interviews, voice recording as well, writing as well, writing my thoughts. Like sometimes for no reason, I will be sad or something. Writing the thoughts are very important. And yeah, like those are the major challenges. The third challenges is like definitely talking on phone as well, which I've talked earlier as well. Like that is my major pain, like major pain. If I'm talking to my family, like parents, and the situation is very favorable and all those kind of things, I just stutter. Like I cannot, like I feel so helpless, like it is out of my control. Like even if I am taking deep breaths and all those kind of things, if I am on telephone, I would definitely stutter. I cannot escape from it. And it comes in phases. Like there are some times when I would stutter on telephone. There are some phase where, I am brilliant. Like I could give a speech. So I kind of, I have done this like during my engineering phases as well, like talk to my friends for like 1 hour, like talking nonsense, talking just about like anything. Like I'm a big sports fan, like sports like basketball, tennis, cricket as well. So we talk about sports, basketball, everything, which is not relevant, but it is like making me practice, like just talking, like just keep on going. And there is my friend who is like sympathetic to me, and he understands what I have to do. So I have done all those things, and I am here where I am right now.
How cool. How cool. Okay. And so what has your stutter taught you?
Wow, that's a deep, very deep question. What has stutter taught me? First is empathy. Definitely on the top of the list. Stuttering is part of my life throughout whole day, whole night, every day. And it's a struggle that we battle, in the mind, struggle, seeing our words not coming through, even though we want it to come outside normally, all those kind of things. So I can understand what other people with their own set of problems, what they might be facing, what we are not able to understand because we have not been through in their shoes. And the same for us as well. Like, okay, I am stuttering, I know what's the pain, but the other person is not able to understand. So knowing the situation that the other person is not understanding and be empathetic to them, I understand why are you laughing, because you don't know what problem you are facing. If you know my story and if you live with me for one day, you will understand what I'm going through, and then you won't laugh. Not a single person in this world is born to be rude. There are situations, or there are, they don't know the conditions, and if we explain to them what we are going through, they will be empathetic to us. So, bringing, like having that thought of empathy, be considerate, be compassionate, be, gratitude is very important. Yeah, at least we could speak. There are many people who cannot speak. Yeah, like Shreyas, you have got this. You are living in one of the best countries. You have all the things you got. So Uh, uh, those actually saying this, I actually forgot what question was.
It's all good. You have answered it very well.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give to another person who stutters?
Yeah. So before answering that, I just wanted to, use this opportunity to tell that. So Joe Biden, who is our president, and he was also stuttered a lot in his life. And I would ask the audience and to you as well that go watch a video of him. He has spoken in AIS Gala. So it is American Institute of Stuttering. It is a 25-minute video. It's a very powerful video. It is there on YouTube as well. I watched it 10 times. Like you can see like that man has gone through all those things, all those difficulties that we are talking about here. And he is like senator and like government. He has to give up public speaking and all those kind of things. And like just go and watch it like for half an hour and it will be like open up yourself. And one other thing on this that I wanted to add that I have learned is like I could understand what other people is thinking, his psychology. If he's making face while I'm talking, having my own thing, and if he's not if he in his phone and like not giving me proper attention, that guy is not good. There is some problem with him. Okay, so we know all this kind of things. We have that, extra gift along with this stuttering that we have learned along this road, that we could judge people how they are, which not many people could do. And the third thing is mental strength. We have been through this. We could do this anything else in this life. If we are living this life with the stuttering, why cannot we live with any other problem? So we think any other problem as a small things. Like if I have been carrying this load or this thing for my whole life, I can do anything else, any other problem as well. So it makes you mentally stronger. Mentally stronger is like empathetic, mentally stronger, and you have a like sixth sense of knowing what other person might be thinking and like talking. So if I am going to a person and I am reaching out to him, in my mind, I will already have 2, 3 lines of conversation like, hi, my name is Shreyas. So he will tell his name. Okay, he might be a sports fan. I can talk about sports, or I can talk about what jobs he is doing, what he is interested are, what he is interested in. So, and I will talk to myself as well, like what will I answer if he asks me the same question. So I have that 2, 3 lines of questions ready, and that makes me help understand what that guy is interested in, what is his thought, and all those kind of things. So that gives us a powerful upper hand over other people. So stuttering, even though some places it might hamper, or there are some situations, but along with it gives us many other tools as well, which we should realize and work on it to get them better, and it will make us a better human being altogether.
Awesome. Ooh, that was good. That was good. Okay, so here's the last question. So if you had the opportunity to be on stage for the whole world, let's say you were at Wembley Stadium, to tell the whole world about stuttering, what message would you convey to the world about stuttering?
The message, first of all, just being in the Wembley Stadium is scary. just thinking about it.
Just breathe.
But definitely. So that stuttering is not disadvantage. It's a gift. It's a powerful gift that we have got. We just have to realize that it is a gift. We don't have to take it as a burden. I totally understand. The audience who might be in their teens and like not in 20s, or still like heavily, suffered badly. Some had bad experiences. I had bad experiences as well. But the thing is, this phase will pass. and you will be better again. So like, don't treat as a disease or disability. This is not a disability. This is ability that you have to realize. It is not like, okay, God has given you hand, so you have to use your hand. It is not such simple like that. You have to understand it is a gift, but how you will perceive it as a gift. So you have to understand that you will get different kind of tools along with it. Like I've talked, like empathetic, psychology, mental strengthness. You could do many other things a lot better than other people could do. So you have this beautiful gift. And I would also say that to people that don't berate it, don't make fun of others, be compassionate. They are working very hard. If you cannot put shoes of other people, at least be with them. If don't make feel bad, if you cannot at least make them happy, like be neutral. That is also fine with us. Like it's okay to not be very over sympathetic or empathetic. Don't be negative, and like push us, nurture us, and we will give you back in more than 10 times. Like if you give us something, we will give you more than that. And also helping, telling teachers and students that speaking slowly and like deep breathing might help up to a certain level, but it will not help the problem at all. And it is a known fact that stuttering does not have any cure. So it is not like there is no tablet, there is no injection or surgery. You cannot. There's nothing like that. So be compassionate with the people who has this, and with your kids, with your students, and stand firm with them. And over the period of life, you will see what good you have done, and they will be giving you a lot more bigger gifts than you have done with them, standing with them. Always support them, like those kind of things. Also, since I am on stage, so I will tell other people that stand on your ground. Fear will be there, and I understand there will be embarrassment. I have a lot of embarrassment with schools where, like, I was in a physics lecture and my ma'am asked me, who can tell me this answer? And I was the one who raised my hand at that time. And I started speaking, and I stuttered the worst of my life, and the whole class was laughing at me. It was during my 10th standard. So whole class of like 60-70 students were laughing at me, and my friends were like kind of seeing me as embarrassing, or like they were trying to avoid seeing me at that time. So that was very hard. So just know that if they are laughing, let them laugh. It doesn't matter. They have problem, not you. So I stopped answering to my teacher's question at that time. I didn't answer for one whole year. And that teacher asked me, Shreyas, you know the answer. Why you're not speaking? I told her, I'm embarrassed. I had stuttered at that time. The whole crowd, the whole class was laughing except my teacher. So she was sympathetic, and she told me, Shreyas, you're a bright student. You have to go through this. It doesn't matter you are stuttering or not. It doesn't matter what they are laughing. Is their problem. Is their karma. They will get their own thing. Don't worry about it. If you know the answer, speak. Because until you are not speaking, you will not improve. You have to go through your battles. You have to push. You have to fight. So just know that at the end of this tunnel there is light, and that light is waiting for you. That there is light there, and if you work hard enough, you practice hard enough, you go through your job interviews, wherever you are working, what problem you are having, just know that fight through them. Maybe in 1-2 years or 4-5 years, you will see the light, and you will be a bigger, better person. And you cannot imagine that you would be at this stage of life 5 years back. Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, I had the goosebumps, Shreyas. Look, I got the goosebumps.
Thank you. Thanks, Pedro.
That's an amazing message. Ooh, I mean, I got lost there because I was like, that is just, it's just, it's truly inspirational, And so I want to thank you. I want to thank you for spending your time with me today and just sharing your story, because I believe that there's healing in sharing. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I have amazing listeners from all over the world. I mean, they're just fantastic. What if they wanted to reach out to you? What would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
The not best way is to don't call me, please.
You may have like a million phone calls.
Yeah. So best ways will be like, I am on LinkedIn. My name is Shreyas Pandey, and my profile like is Shreyas Shreyas, I think dash Pandey. And then my mail is shreyaspandey123@gmail.com. I am on Instagram as well, but I don't use it like from past year. Social media and like how it takes up your mind, and like you won't be able to do what actually you want to do. But still, I have that account, and my ID, I think, I don't remember. So it's Pandey_Shreyas, if I remember. I am on Facebook as well. Again, that is also deleted, but with the same name, Shreyas Pandey, as well. So the best way to reach out to me will be through email. And through LinkedIn, because I am highly, like a lot more on LinkedIn right now.
Okay, awesome. We will have those links in there. And so, just once again, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's almost 2 hours, Shreyas.
It
2
is,
hours. It was a fantastic conversation. You are a bright light. You have such a bright future. I am proud to call you my friend. And so later down the road, let's do this, again. Because, your story is, it's just extremely heartfelt and inspirational. And so I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pedro, for your time. It's an honor. And I said earlier as well, it's an inspiration seeing you doing podcast and like facing the battles. Actually, I got to know about you when, I was a bit sad. I had some embarrassing moment and I was searching in Reddit, like what are different podcasts that could help me. And I found this podcast. So in that kind of sad part, I got to know you and the podcast, and it's an honor. It's I would say Stuttering gave me a chance to be on the podcast, sharing my stories. So thanks a lot again. Just keep doing it. And maybe one day, I will have enough courage just like you, and I could do much more things. Thanks a lot.
That is awesome. Thank you, sir. So I hope you have a great day. I want you to take care, be well, and stay safe.
Thanks, Pedro. Have a great day, you too.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.